for achieving courtesy. Courtesy, courtesy is a major contributor for improving goodwill in business documents. Courtesy, it is like it involves treating people with respect and friendly human concern. So you would have heard of this word courtesy. Courtesy is nothing but kindness, respect, okay, not being rude, okay, that's courtesy. Uh, Now, how do you achieve courtesy? So how do you get see that courtesy? You are practicing that courtesy. So these are so many of these techniques, or doing all this, you are supposed to achieve courtesy. So first one is practice the goodwill technique. Second one is single out your reader. So we'll see one by one a little bit of each of them. Avoid preaching or talking down. Avoid displays of anger and be sincere. So these are some of the techniques. So first technique is practice goodwill. Goodwill techniques. So some of the we saw in previously in the first or second topic, we saw all these things. Writing. So these are the techniques again. Practice goodwill techniques. Conversational language is the language not being very artificial. So that non-artificial language, natural language is conversational language. So that will help in goodwill. Second one is you viewpoint. So instead of saying we, I, ours and all that, you can use you, yours. So that will help you improve. It's like it shows the closeness. So that will help you improve the goodwill technique. The third one is choosing words for positive effect. So just now we finished this topic, positive. So choose only positive words. Choose only words that gives the opposite person the positive effect, not the negative effect. So this was the first way of achieving courtesy or to get courtesy. Second point is single out your reader. So the reader, so you are writing a letter to your boss. If you are writing it to your boss is the reader. The boss is the one who reads the letter. Message that appeared usually you will when you're writing to a boss, you will write I this letter hope this letter finds you in the pink of the health, and I wish to inform you that this has happened, and I request your kind self. So you will be like if you're not personal, then you're impersonal, you're cold, you're very formal. So uh, you have to make the reader, so when the reader reads that letter, the reader will think, okay, you have copied some letter that is there in the mail. You're not being personal, you're being a little far off. So you have to give some importance and uh, to that person. So you are talking, you should write a letter in a way that you're talking to the person and you're talking about the situation. Okay. So be and what we are trying to say is be a little casual. So some statements like this: "We wish you best of success." So we could have stopped by saying, "We wish you all the best of success." But we are giving the situation here on the book where you are wishing the success on the book. Okay. To when you're again you are correct. You could have stopped here. You are correct. But we are saying referring to a person. So this statement will make this Miss Brock feel important. And this statement will make the person to feel important because you're telling book. Okay, so this kind of statements are you called as single out. Okay, single out the situation, single out the reader. So these are the different kinds of statements. So next, okay, one more. So this is something interesting. Maybe you also would have come across uh, these things. So if you have your friends, your equals, or trying to talk to you like a boss, so lecturing you, even if you are asking for a doubt, so the person is not helping you like a friend. The person is or your classmate, or that your peer is not helping you like a friend, is helping you like a boss. Or you can say, you, I told you to do it like this, why you didn't do this, do this, do that. Like maybe that kind of thing everybody will not like. Okay, if somebody is coming and bossing to me, I may not like. I say, oh, I will immediately try to stop the conversation. I will like, okay, okay, I will see, I will try, I'll come back to you later. I will, if I get doubt, I'll come back to you, because you will not want to continue that statement. So that is being, you're not courteous. If you're trying to boss over somebody, if you're trying to preach, if you're trying to teach, if you're trying to lecture, it is it's like you are not interested. The opposite person will not be interested. Um, so you might heard these kind of statements. You must take advantage of saving like this. So somebody is asking you, better save money, or you better save things. So if you are successful, so this statement people may not like. So the statements like, you need, you wanted it, you should have done it, you must do it, why didn't you do it, and all that. So it will give, it is like insulting a reader. The reader might feel a little insulted. So the intention, maybe our intention may not be to insult the reader, but still the reader gets a little insulted. So this kind of statements also should be refrained. That means you should stop using preaching kind of statement in your letter. You should be not teaching somebody anything. You should avoid teaching, avoid lecturing. Okay, this is another point. And for this is about courtesy. So another one is doing more than what is expected. So you are exaggerating. You are not okay. This is not exactly exaggerating. Do a little more than what you have to do. So sometimes when you be a little more than what is expected, so the reader might be happy. So for example, the writer will write a message refusing the request for use of company equipment. So only thing that, so suppose you are asking the company to allow you to use the equipment for some time. So the only thing the opposite person has to say is no. That's it. It's over. But if that might hurt the person who has asked, but if you want to be have a goodwill relationship, so it will say why we are refusing you to use that equipment. Okay, and might also say that, okay, there are other things that you can that will help you with it, so you can use those things. So if you come and ask, or if you go and ask your boss, see, I want to use your laptop or this laptop, the boss can just say no. Okay, but the boss can also explain that why he is not able to give that laptop. So that is what it is. So don't be a bland no or something. Don't give a negative. Just try to explain why that thing has happened. So this is all those things that this is another technique for courtesy. So one more thing about courtesy uh, is being angry. The worst thing that you can show in your letter is the anger. So if you just show the anger, it destroys the goodwill. So the most of the comments made in the anger, it will just blow the writer. So if I am writing the letter, it will blow the steam off me, and it will hurt the other person. So that's, so never write anything angry in a letter. So there should not be sarcasm in the letter, no insult in the letter, no exclamations in the letter. So these are some of the statements, negatives, or angry statements. I can't understand your negligence. So that is another statement. Your careless attitude has caused loss. So this is again a very negative statement. It's an anger statement. So, okay, this kind of statements should not be used in a letter. Avoid, so as much as possible, avoid anger in the letter. So that's about the point in courtesy, how to be courteous. So the last, I think this is the last point in courtesy. So be sincere. So sincere is, so when I say, uh, I am very happy to know that you have done this or you have sent this. So you should be writing that word. I am very happy only if you are happy. So you should make the opposite person believe that you are happy. So you must convince them that you mean what you say. Okay, and that efforts to be courteous and friendly are well intended. So this is, you should mean what you say. That is what is sincere. So, but sometimes this is sometimes it can be overdone. So when you say we are extremely pleased to be able to help you and want to know what your satisfaction, it means more than anything to us. If somebody writes something to us that your satisfaction means more than anything to us, that it's a little, it's overdone. It's too much for us to take it. Okay, we might think that it is, he's simply making it up. It is an artificial statement. So this kind of over sincere statement is supposed to sound like insincere. So don't go overboard like this. Be a little more lesser software. And one more is exaggeration. Exaggeration is too much. So like never has there been, nor there will be a fan as smooth running and whispering. So all these kind of, never there has been, how have you gone and checked everywhere? No, these are some statement that you're simply like talking. You're simply saying something. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're simply exaggerating something. Okay, this kind of statement, like you are the greatest, you are the best, you are the strongest. So these kind of letters in their letter or even otherwise also is, will will sound again insincere. It's insincere. Okay, overdoing a statement, exaggerating a statement, all these are being insincere. So try to be sincere just by writing simple statements that makes the other person believe. So this is the last point in courtesy. So what is the meaning of courtesy? So what is courtesy? It's treating people with respect. That is courtesy. So the techniques for achieving courtesy, these are the techniques. One was all the goodwill techniques that we discussed before. So this were the goodwill techniques: conversational language, viewpoint, positive effect. So single out your reader, avoid preaching, avoid anger, and be sincere. So these are the 5 points to achieve courtesy. Uh, okay, so next what we have is techniques for emphasis on writing. So when you are writing something, so you can see if as a reader, so you will, when you think yourself as a reader, where do you give emphasis when you are reading it? So you will be reading. So these are some of the things you do when you are reading. So you will judge or you will put more emphasis on the beginning and ending. So it may be a statement also, you will give more emphasis for the beginning of the statement and for the ending of the statement. So if there is a paragraph, you will give more emphasis on beginning of the paragraph and ending of the paragraph. And if it is a short sentence, if you will give more emphasis on a short sentence. And if there is a color given, if there is a diagram, if there is an underscore, if there is a boldface, again you will give more emphasis. So these are the emphasis that is given for major techniques emphasis in writing. So first one is position, second one is phase. So the more you write about something, the more the people read it. So if you are writing only 2 lines, people will think it is not important, they'll not read it. If you write more, there also people will read it. So the structure, if the sentence structure, if it is a short and quick one, so you read it fast. So that also gives, that is another kind of emphasis. And mechanical is the color and other things. So people, what pleases the eyes of the people. So these are some of the emphasis techniques. So, okay, by position, this is what I said. The first and last sentences, first and last sentence in the paragraph, first and last sentence in a message, first and last words in a sentence. So, when you are reading anything, you will give more importance to first and last. Okay, so that's why we call emphasis by position. The next one is the greater space is devoted to a topic, greater emphasis. So, the more you say about it, the emphasis you're giving more emphasis. Okay, so if you're talking about one, if you are writing about a report about your work, the more you talk about one work that you're doing, so that means you are giving more emphasis on that work. Okay, next, sentence structure. Sentence short, simple. uh, if you are being trying to tell a story, maybe people will get bored. So in that case, if you want to convey something, convey it short and simple. So that's uh, this is a different kind of emphasizing. So depending on the situation, sometimes big message is important, sometimes short message is important. Uh, then what is the next one? Okay, this one: quotation, diagrams, lines, arrows. So all these are mechanical means. Okay, so there's this is about the emphasis. Four major techniques for emphasis in writing. Which one will give you emphasis? So next, what we have is the next one is coherent. So what is the meaning of coherence or coherent? So it says the messages should be coherent. Uh, no, coherent means it should be related. So I'll tell the first statement. Uh, that I might maybe telling a story. So I'll tell the first statement. The second statement should follow the first statement. So I should say second statement should follow whatever fact was told in the first statement. Again, the next statement. The third statement should again follow the facts that is told in the first two statements. So it like goes one after the other, goes one after the other. You should not tell, I mean, tell something that is not connected to the previous statement. Okay, suddenly you are talking about something and suddenly you talk about something else. So maybe you are talking about corona, covid and all that, and suddenly you start talking about some other person, some other disease, or you are completely deviating from the topic. So what is important in communication is, so our document or whatever we write is a lot of independent bits or patterns of information. So the relationship of this should be clear. Okay. So this kind of logical ordering of relationship of these words, that is called as coherence. So write a message that is clear. So now, how do you achieve all this? So, or what are the devices for achieving these are called as transitional devices. So relationship of thoughts by using these transitional devices. So the statements include tie-in sentences. So these are the thoughts, tie-in sentences, word repetitions, pronouns, transitional words. Sorry. Okay. So these are the four things, or these are the four transitional devices which will tell us how coherence is achieved. So tie-in sentences. Tie-in sentences, maybe there are a set of statements that you want to say. So tie each sentence with each other. So put it together, tie together succeeding thoughts. So, so one idea sets up the next. You can skillfully relate to the ideas. So with successful years of, so this is one statement. This is an example. So with successful 7 years of computer illustration, using computer illustration tools and degree in scientific illustration, I believe I have qualifications. So it is like a small one story. We are actually not able to understand where he is getting to. What does he actually want? So finally, we come to know, okay, I have the qualification to do this. So the same thing could have been written like this. You are telling a little more of things. I'm 32 years of age, married, interested in exploring the possibilities of employment with you. So this is like directly you're coming to the point. Just giving a brief introduction about you, you're directly coming to the point. So this kind of statement, which has a better chain of sentences or better logical ordering of sentences, this is better than this kind of statement. So see that sentences should be designed to tie together succeeding thoughts. Okay, so that's the first tying statement. So next is um, repetition of keywords. So whenever you're writing a paragraph, I am uh, you're writing a paragraph saying that uh, because your advertising clinic is so well planned, I am confident that it will provide a valuable service to the practitioners in the community. To be truly valuable, I think the program must be given the thorough preparation it requires. So all these, you're writing a long statement where somewhere you might get lost. Okay, so when you are having underlining these kind of words, valuable, valuable, so then something will go into your mind. Okay, so this is uh, these are like keywords. So when you are using these keywords again and again, so you know what has to be given these. So when you're using this word again and again, so you will be understanding what has to be given importance. So the valuable service has to be given importance. To be, you are going to be the here the in this paragraph, the valuable is the keyword. So repetition of keywords connects the thought. So this statement is related to this statement or connecting the about the second point in transitional devices, word repetition. The third one, or the third point is uh, use of pronoun. So pronoun refers to the words that is previously used. So when you use, instead of using the noun itself, if you're using the pronoun, so you will be thinking during all this time. Now, what does this refer to? So you will go back and check what this is, or you will not forget soon what that this is. So ever since the introduction of Model 5, 9 years ago, the consumers have suggested one possible improvement. So during all this time, so what is this? It is not Model 5. It is the 9 years ago. So all this time, making this improvement has been, so now what is this referring to? And what is these referring to? So when you have pronouns, you will go back and refer. So this kind of thing, this is another point. So what is this point for? This point is to improve coherence. So remember, to improve the continuity or the relation between the first statement and the next statement is, so is using this. So the last one, I think this is the last one. One second. Is transitional words. So we'll just see the last one. So these are called as transitional words. For example, what are the transitional words? Uh, therefore, likewise, likewise, however, contrast, in spite of. So where do you use these words? Uh, this you will use like one statement you'll write, because this state of this statement you are using another statement. So these are called transitional words. So it will also give, so you cannot use therefore for the beginning of a sentence. You cannot use likewise for the beginning of a sentence. It is giving you the connection. So this kind of transitional words also improves the coherence or continuity of the statement or relation between the